Recording in progress.
Very good morning, guys. Very good morning, all of you. Very good morning. Okay. Fine and good. Last day we have been talking on. Last day we just been talking on how to debug the project. So how to debug the project F5, F10. Have you tried them? Have you tried them? No. Have you tried those options F5, F10? I just shown you all those particular options. I hope you tried them. Okay. Okay then. So if you have just been tried up all those options here, fine. Now the next thing what we're going to learn today is guys, have a look. Actually, I want to explain you a little bit more about this. I want to explain you a little bit more about the parameters of a method. I want to explain you a little bit more about the parameters of a method. And what is this? I'll just tell you. See, guys, before that, I want to clarify you one thing. How are we adding a class in the project? How are we adding a class in the project? We are provided with the add new item window. We are provided with an add new item window. When we open the add new item window, there we are finding an option called class template, class item template. There we are finding an option called class item template. There's a class item template that is available to you inside of it. There is a class item template that is available for you inside of it. Okay, class item template is there. So we just use that class item template here, and with the help of the class item template, we are just going to add a class. We are just going to add a class here. Same way, all of you, if you just observe, in the add new item window, you will also find a template called as code file template. You will also find a template called as code file template. So what is this code file template? Okay, just let me show you. Guys, have a look. Have a look, all of you. Two classes are there, program, test program. To add a class, what are you doing? You right click on the project, you select add a new item. And in the add new item window, we'll be selecting a template called class. Same way, if you come down, you'll find a template called code file. Can you see that? Code file. Or you want to be more specific, in the left-hand side, select code. In the left-hand side, select code. It will show you only the templates for writing the code. We have a class template. We have an interface template. We have a code file template. What is this code file? A code file is a blank .cs file. It's a blank .cs file. And these code files are equivalent. These code files are similar. These are similar like writing the code in our notepad. They are similar to write a code in the notepad. Suppose you add a code file here. See here? You see the name is code file 1.cs. So click on the add button. It will add you a blank file. Now you can start typing everything on your own. Like starting from namespace. Yeah, namespace oops project. Namespace oops project. Next you can write the class whatever class you just wanted to write, code file one, something, any name you like, code file one. And you can start writing the code. This is a blank file. So did you understand code file? We can use this code file templates also. If you use code file template, you're required to type everything on your own. If you use a class template, by default, it writes this code. If you use a class template, by default, it writes this code. But if you use a code file template, what will happen? You won't find this particular code. Blank file will come. You require to type all the code on your own. Understood code files, all of you? Come on, yaar, fast response. Understood code files? So no problem. You can use a class template or you can use a code file template also. Whatever you want, you can write. Okay, now? I will show you using code files. Some scenarios I'll show you using code files. Now I'm deleting this. Now answer this question. Can I define multiple classes in a single file? Guess, right or wrong, I'll tell you. Can I define multiple classes in a single .cs file? In one .cs file, can I define multiple classes? Yes. How many? How many? Any number. Any number, no problem. But remember, guys, you define any number, but main method should be defined in one file or one class only. Main method should be defined in one class only. You cannot write the main method in all the places. You can write the main method only in one class. Got it? Are you clear? You can write the main method only in one class. You cannot write the main method in multiple classes. Main method can be defined only in one class. Okay, which class? Any class, your choice. Any class, your choice. But one class only you can write the main method. Okay, next. What should be the file name? What should be the file name? Any name, sir. 10 classes you defined in it. What should be the file name? Any name, guys, no problem. Any name you can give. But generally, there's a convention. What convention? In which class are you writing the main method? In which class are you writing the main method? Better use that class name as a file name. Are you clear? In which class are you writing the main method? Better give that name as a file name. Suppose you're writing class 1, class 2, class 3, class 4, class 5, class 10, like this class 10, up to 10, you've written 10 classes. You've written the main method in class 6. You've written the main method in class 6. So what is the best name for the file now? Class6.cs. Class6.cs. Okay now? So that is about writing multiple classes in a file. We can define multiple classes in a file. Okay. So all of you, so this is the first thing I explained you, code files in the project, and this is the second thing I'm explaining you, defining multiple classes in a file. Defining multiple classes in a file. Two things what I explained. Okay, next. Remember, here we defined 4 methods actually. Here we defined 4 methods actually. If you look at the 3 and 4, if you look at the methods 3 and 4, 1 and 2 are non-value returning method. 3 and 4 are value returning method. What is the value they're returning? What is the value they're returning? They're returning a value of type string. They're returning a value of type string. Can I use anything as my return type, like integer, float, double, boolean? Can I use anything as my return type? Integer, float, double, boolean. Why no, Madhuri? Yes, you can use anything as your return type. I listed you 17 data types to you now. I listed you 17 data types to you. You can use any of the 17 data types as a return type of the method. You can use any of the 17 data types as a return type of your method. Understood? Huh? Not only that one, remember, you can also have your own you can also have a user defined type also as a return type. Say int, float, bool, character, object, all these are predefined types. All these are predefined types. And what I'm telling is the return type of a method can also be a user defined type. I repeat, the return type of a method can also be a user-defined type. A user-defined type also can be used as a return type. Guys, I want to inform you all from Monday, the classes are going to be commenced online and offline also. All the offline students can attend offline classes. All the offline students can attend offline. Okay, now, if you're an offline student, you can attend offline from Monday onwards. Yeah, from Monday, you can attend offline. Online, offline, both will be there. You attend offline. But I suggest you, because everything came to normal, if possible, I recommend you people to attend offline classes only. See, everything is normal now. If possible, attend offline only. Okay, I just recommend all of you to attend offline only. So it will be a point of contact, the eye contact. That will be good to understand the concept also. So better you try attending offline from Monday. Online will be there, but I'm telling you, if chance is there, better just go for offline. Okay. Yeah, fine. So, so what I'm telling you, the return type of a method, need not be a predefined type, but it can also be a user-defined type also. The return type of a method need not be a predefined type, but it can also be a user-defined type also. User-defined types also can be return types of your method. User-defined types also can be return types of your method. The return type of your method can be user-defined type also. Are you clearer or not? Okay. So what is that user-defined type as a return type? What is that user-defined type as a return type? Let me explain. What is that user-defined type as a return type? How can I use user-defined types as return type? And what is the concept of using user-defined types as return type? See, look at this. Look at this. Here I have a table called employee table. Here I have a table called employee table. Look at this, all of it. It's an employee table. This employee table has a different columns in it. This employee table has a different columns in it. Employee ID, name, job, salary, department ID. Like this, we just have a different set of columns in this table. Like this, we just have a different set of columns in the table. Okay, just look at this one. This is better. This table. Employee ID, name, job, salary, status. Now, I wanted to write a method here. What is the method? The method should take an employee ID and get the name of the employee. The method should take an ID and get the name of the employee. Did you understand me? The method should take an ID and get the name of the employee. Clear? Okay. Now, I want to write a method for this. Now, to write that method, look at this, all of you. The signature of the method will be like this. The signature of the method, public. What it has to return you? Name. Name is which type? String. Public string. Get name. Any name for the method. For this, you're passing a parameter ID. Did you understand? Means if I pass an ID, it will get the name. Inside of this, we write the logic. What logic? Connect to the database and load the name of the employee. inside of it, we write the logic to connect to the database and load the name of the employee based on the given ID. Are you guys clear? We call this as a signature of the method. We call this as a signature of the method. Okay. Now, guys, can you tell me, if I pass the ID, it should get the job. If I pass the ID, it should get the job. Can you tell me the signature? If I pass the ID, it should get the job. Can you tell me the signature? Fast. Type it. Type it and show me. Come on. I'll pass ID, it should get the job. Public string get job in the ID. Perfect. Next. If I pass the ID, it should get the salary. If I pass the ID, it should get the salary. Write down. If I pass the ID, it should get the salary. Write the signature. It should take ID and get the salary. Wrong. Madhuri, wrong. Wrong. Amulya, right. Amulya is right. Public, double, yeah. Salary, yeah. Why salary will be string? Why integer you're taking? Why salary will contain money, na? Money means a decimal value. Then why are you taking integer? Okay, same way. Should take the ID and get the status. Should take the ID and get the status. Should take the ID and get the status. Rule get status int ID. Clearer? Now listen. Now listen. I want a method. I want a method which returns all the values. I want a method which returns all the values. No, I'm asking you. I'm asking you. It should take the ID and return all the values. No. Return all the values means what it has to return. Return all the values means what it has to return. Did you get my point? If it has to return all the values, if it has to get all the values, what it has to return? Confusing now. 4 or 5 values, it has to return 4 or 5 values. So what we do, to overcome this problem, just all of you, watch it. I am writing a class here, a new class. What is the class name? EMP. In this class, I am just going to declare some few attributes. Int, something like this, public int id, public string name job, public double salary, public bool status. Did you understand? EMP. Under EMP, I declared 5 fields, right? I defined a class called EMP with 5 fields in it. How many? 5 fields in it. Okay, now what is EMP? What is EMP? No, you're wrong. EMP is a new type. You're forgetting. Every class is a type. So what is EMP? EMP is a new type. EMP is a new type. It's a type. See, we are using string. What is string? String is a predefined class. You already know that. String is a predefined class. Yes or not? Put your mouse on this. It will tell you what is string. String is a class defined in system namespace. So when I ask you what is string, are you telling it is a class? You're telling string is a data type, right? Array, what is string means what you say string is a type. Exactly. What is EMP? EMP is a type. EMP is a type. Now tell me, can I write a method like this? Public EMP get EMP details int ID. Did you guys understand me? Now tell me, I am going to get a 1 value or 5 values. I am going to get 1 value or 5 values. Complex type, yeah, complex type. I explained you. I explained all these things to you. Simple types, complex types. EMP is a complex type. I can use EMP is a complex type and user defined type. I can use it here. Okay, watch it. I will show you all these 3 things, all these things to you in detail to you. Watch. Watch this. I'm adding a new code file in the project. I'm adding a new code file in the new project. What is the code file name? The code file name is user defined types.cs. User defined types.cs. Okay, now start writing. Namespace. What's the namespace? Oops project. Next, I'm writing a first class. What is class? Class EMP. Class EMP. Okay, public int ID. Public string name, comma job. Okay, public string job and public double salary. Public bool status. Are you clear, all of you? Now I am writing another class here. What is the new class? User defined types is a new class. Now see, I've taken a code file and I have written two classes in that now. And this is what I explained to you about code files first. I taken a code file. Then I said you can write multiple classes. See, I defined two classes in the file now. I defined two classes. Third thing what I explained to you, a method can have user defined types as a return type. User defined type as a return type. Are you clearer, all of you? Now inside of the method, what should be present? Inside of the method, what should be present here? It should connect to the database, load all the details and return it. Okay, I'll tell you how to do. Just watch. Look at method 3. What is this method returning? What is this method returning? String. So first, did you declare a string or not? Because the method is returning a string, first you declared a string or not? Same way, what is this method returning? What is this method returning? EMP. So first you are required to create an instance now. Create an EMP. There you created a string. Here you create a EMP. Okay, now? After creating an EMP, you start assigning the values to it. You start assigning the values. Actually, these values should come from database. These values should come from database. As of now, we don't know database coding. For the time being, I am using all static values. I'm using all static values. But in the future, guys, remember, in the future, I will load all these particular values from a database. In the future, I will be loading all these particular values from a database. Now see, I loaded all the values. Assume like I loaded all the values and all the values are stored in EMP or not? All the values are stored in EMP or not? See here, you declared a string, you stored in the string, and finally what did you say? Return str. Return str. Same way what you require to write here? Return EMP. Understood, everyone? Simply, you are created one EMP, you put all the things in it and returning. You go to a sweet shop. You ask it for a laddu, a 1 kg laddu. What he does, he takes a box, he puts all the sweets in it and gives you it. Or otherwise, you went to a sweet stall and you are asking for assorted sweets. Assorted means mixed sweets. So what he will take? He'll take a box now. He will put all the sweets in the box and gives the box to you. Without giving each sweet to you individually, everything is put in a box and given to you. Got it? Now also same thing. So this is the box and everything is put in the box and finally returns the box. That's it. I hope you guys are clear. Okay. Now, you need to call this method. Which method? Get EMP details. Get EMP details. So you need to create the instance of this class now. You need to call this method. So you need to create the instance of this class now. Okay, now? User defined types UDT is equals to new user defined types. User defined types UDT is equals to new user defined types. Created the instance. Okay, what next? The next thing is UDT dot call the method. What is the method? Get EMP details. Get EMP details. and passing 1001 as a parameter. Okay, just a minute, guys. See, look at this method here is returning a string. This method is returning a string. So you declared a string variable to capture it or not? This method is returning a string. You declared a string variable to capture it or not? Now tell me, this method is returning EMP. So should I declare EMP variable to capture it or not? Tell me. Yes. How? EMP obj is equals to. Now see, when you call this method get details and pass 1001, control jumps here. Control jumps, it creates the EMP object, stores all the values in it and returns it. The value what it returns will come into obj. Now obj contains all the 5 values in it. Understood, everyone? Now obj contains all the 5 values in it. Okay, just a minute. For all of you, just to understand, I will print and show you. Just a second. Console dot read line. All of you, what you'll do is put a breakpoint here. See, debugging. This is very, very important. I said you debugging. Put a breakpoint. Start. Look, instance is created. Coming to get details. I want to see what is happening in the get details. So F11 went to get details. What happened? Created the instance of the EMP. And after creating the instance, watch it. EMP contains the 5 values in it. All are zeros and nulls. Default values. Everything has a default value. ID 0, job null, name null, salary 0, and also status false. So what you have is default values, right? Default values are not null. Default values. We have default values. Now what is happening? It is going to initialize all of them with some set of values. It is going to initialize all of them with a set of values. Yes, now it is initialized with a set of values now. Now see, are the default or we have values? Okay, now we have some values. And now what happens? Return EMP, when you say return EMP, initially this OBJ is null. Watch it, all of you. Initially this OBJ is null. But that EMP comes to this and OBJ will contain all the 5 values now. Did you notice? Before execution, OBJ is null. After execution, OBJ contains all the 5 values. Now tell me, where are the values? Tell me, where are the values? OBJ. Now what you will do? Print them. Console dot write line obj dot id plus giving some space plus obj dot name plus giving some space plus obj dot job giving some space again plus obj dot salary plus giving some space and obj dot status. Okay, just trying to print all the 5 values. Run and see, you get it. Right now these are static here, but tomorrow if you write database coding and pass an employee number, it will load the details from the database directly. Understood? Right now all the values are static, but tomorrow if you write database coding there, all the values will come from the database now. You enter the number, it will get you the details of the employees. Do anyone have any doubts? Do anyone have any doubts in this code? Do anyone have any doubts in the code? So these are the 3 things I explained to you right now. One is code files. Second one, defining multiple classes in a file. Third one, user-defined return types to methods. All these 3 things I explained for you right now in this code. All the 3. Did not understand your question. Why every time? Then how do you access the member of a class? You cannot access the members of the class directly. I already explained to you. If you want to access the members of the class, you need to access it only by using object of the class. Are you reading the notes, Raju? If you want to call the members of the class, you require object of the class. Without an object, you cannot call the members of a class. You can call only static members directly. Non-static members must be accessed only by using object of class. I hope everyone is clear with the code. Yeah, you call it as an instance, you call it as an object, both are same only. But you just require to access it only by using object or instance of the class. Directly, you can never access the members of the class. See guys, the simple common sense you apply here. Are they present in the same class or different class? This name, ID, job, are you accessing from the same class or different class? You're accessing from the different class. When you're accessing from the different class, if you don't tell where they are present, how can the system understand? If you don't tell where they are present, how can the system understand? Okay, you must tell that. So this is present in so and so class, so that it will be providing you access to the values now. Yeah, correct. Practice. Practice is important here. How much time you spend on the system practicing, that much of confidence you will have in the future. Okay, spend time on your system practicing. The more the time you spend on the time practicing, the more and more confidence you'll have on the subject. That's what the guarantee I'm giving to you. Okay, next. The next thing what we are going to learn is about parameters of a method. We already discussed about parameters of a method, right? We already discussed about parameters of a method, right? So all of you remember this point. What you know? Parameters of a method are divided into three categories. Sorry, parameters of a method are used for passing. Parameters of a method are used for, we know what is the need of a parameter, and we already learned about parameters for a method. See, we define parameters to method. We define parameters to method to make actions dynamic. As discussed earlier, every method is an action, and to make those actions dynamic, we define parameters to the method. I already explained you this point now. Come on, I already explained you this point, right? Are I shown you now? See, test 1 is a static in behavior, test 2 is a dynamic in behavior because it has parameters. Test 3 is static in behavior and test 4 is a dynamic in behavior because it has parameters. So wherever you have parameters, that is dynamic in behavior. So parameters will make your actions dynamic. Okay, now how to pass parameters to a method? If at all you want to pass parameters to a method, look at this code, guys, all of you. This is the syntax to pass parameters to a method. This is the syntax to pass parameters to a method. If at all you wanted to pass parameters to a method, this is going to be the syntax. Look at that, all of you. Refer out, optional. Params, optional. Type, mandatory. Parameter name, mandatory. Is equals to default value, optional. N, optional. What is mandatory there? Tell me. What is mandatory? All of you tell me what is mandatory there. Type and parameter name are mandatory. Type and parameter name are mandatory. Type and parameter name are mandatory. These two are mandatory. Okay, type of parameter name. So look at this, all of you. Look at this. Array, watch here. Int is the type. X is the name. Int is the type. X is the name. String is the type. str is the name. Got it? Now, we have so many optional things here. We have so many optional things here, and we need to learn now what are all these optional parameters. We have so many optional things here, and now we need to learn what are all these optional parameters. What are all these optional things? This is what exactly we require to understand. Okay, let me clarify. Let me explain you what exactly are all these optional parameters. Okay, first I'll start with this one, n. What is that n? What is that n? N indicates n parameters here. N indicates n parameters. It indicates n parameters. Watch it. Here you are passing two parameters, int x, int ub. Int x, int ub, multiple parameters, int a, int b, int c, int d, like this I can pass n parameters to a method. That is what n is. Okay, are you clear with n now? I will explain you remaining things. What is it? Ref for out, params, and a default value. I'll explain all these three things in detail. Okay, I'll talk about them. Everything I'll show you in practical. See, parameters of a method are classified as input parameters, output parameters, inOut parameters. I repeat, guys, parameters of a method are classified as input parameters, output parameters, inOut parameters. So look, what are input parameters? What are input parameters? Input parameters will bring values into the method for execution. Input parameters will bring values into the method for execution. Output parameters will carry results outside of the method after execution. Output will carry a value out of the method after execution. inOut parameters. Just a minute, guys. Just a minute. Yeah. If you just watch, parameters are three types: input parameters, output parameters, inOut parameters. What is the use of input parameters? Input parameters will bring values into the method for execution. Input parameters will bring values into the method for execution. Then what about output parameters? Output parameters will carry results out of the method after execution. Output parameters will carry results out of the method after execution, but the results will go out of the method after execution. Then what about inOut parameters? inOut parameter is a combination of both. inOut parameters are a combination of both. Combination of both means just simply speaking, first they will bring a value into the method and afterwards will take the results out of the method. First, it will bring a value into the method and afterwards carry the results out of the method. Did you understand my point? Input parameters will first bring a value into the method. Output parameters are used for carrying the results out of the method. inOut parameter will do both the two things. First, it will get a value and carry the value outside. I'll tell you a simple example. If you see a small restaurant, you went to a restaurant, you ordered some food. Who brings the food onto your table from the kitchen? Who brings the food onto the table, from the kitchen onto your table? Who brings the food bowls? The waiter, or the server or the steward. Okay, whatever you call the waitress or the server or the steward, whatever we call. Who takes these empty bowls inside? Who takes the empty bowls inside? After eating the food from your table, who takes it? Cleaner, not cashier. Yeah, cleaner. Why will cashier take the plates? Cleaner. So cleaner. Okay. So cleaner will take the empty plates inside of it. See now, one person is bringing it and one person is taking it. One person is bringing it and one person is taking it. Okay. Now tell me this one. Just to suppose. In some restaurants, you noticed it. Cafes and restaurants, if you noticed, you don't have a separate person for bringing the food and taking the plates. Have you noticed in big cafes, in pizza centers and all, have you noticed there will not be a separate cleaner person? No. The same person will serve you the food and the same person will take the plates also. Cafes and all. Did you catch my point? Now you understood what is input, output, inout? Did you understand what is input, output, inout? Input brings the values inside. Output takes the values outside. Inout first brings and afterwards takes. Both. Okay now? So like this, parameters of a method are divided into different categorizations like this. Input parameters, output parameters, inout parameters. And remember, by default, every parameter is an input parameter. By default, every parameter is an input parameter. No. I want a parameter to be an output parameter. Then you're required to prefix the out keyword. You're required to prefix the out keyword before the parameter. You're required to prefix the out keyword before the parameter. Okay? No, I want a parameter as inOut parameter. I want to parameter as inOut. Then you're required to prefix the ref keyword before the parameter. Then you're required to prefix the ref keyword before the method. Before the method, you're required to prefix the ref keyword now. Did you guys understand my point, all of you? You can read that paragraph. And watch this statement. You can read that paragraph and watch that statement. Come on. I will give you, yeah. Did you understand what is it? First tell that. I'll give you examples. Which brings a value inside is input, which takes a value outside. See, input means the server. Input parameter means server, who brings the plates onto your table. Output means cleaner, who takes the plates from your table. Inout means the same person who brings the plates and takes the plates again. That's all. See, A is input parameter, B is output parameter, C is inOut parameter. Did you understand? A is input parameter, B is output parameter, C is inOut parameter. Okay now? A is input, B is output, C is inOut. Not like most we use. Default is input, that's all. That based on your requirement. That is based on your requirement. Now here we'll have a doubt. Sir, what is the use of these output parameters? What is the use of these output parameters? This will be a bit confusion for us. What is the use of an output parameter? Okay, I'll explain you. Watch it. I want to write a method like this here. Public int math, int a comma int b. Int c is equals to a plus b. Return c. Is the code clear? Simple code, very simple code. Guys, now can I write like this? Can I write like this? Int d is equals to a plus b. Int d is equals to a plus b. Return d. Can I write like this? Come on, fast. Only 2 responses came now. 4. Yes is a wrong answer. Yes is a wrong answer. Why? Because you already learned. What return is a jump statement. Correct? Huh? You already learned return is a jump statement. Correct? Huh? When return is a jump statement, when I say return C, control will immediately jump from there and this statement won't execute now. When I say return C, control will jump from there and this statement will not execute. Are you clearer or not? So what is the drawback? The drawback is we can return only one value. We can return only one value. Did you understand? Array, you can return only one value. Did you understand that? So to overcome this problem, you can write a method like this. Public void math1, int a comma int b comma out int c comma out int d. And then you say c is equals to a plus b and d is equals to a into b. See now, A and B are input parameters and C and D are output parameters. That's all. What is that? Ref is implement. Why they don't close drawbacks? I don't understand what you're trying to ask. Be clear in your question. People, now look at math 1. How many values are coming into the method? How many values are coming into the method? Array, wrong answer. 2 values. There are 2 values coming into the method. How many results are going out of the method? How many results are going out of the method? 2. Did you notice? See the drawback here. The drawback is you are returning only one value, but here you are able to return 2 values. If you want, you can write like this also. If you want, you can write like this also. How? Public int math1, int a comma int b comma out int c. You can write like this also. All of you carefully watch. See, int c is equals to a plus b. D is equals to A into B, return C. Now also you're giving 2 results. One result will come as a return type and one result will come as an output parameter. Did you guys understand? Now also you have 2 results. So one will come as a return type and one will come as an output parameter. No, you cannot declare inside a method. You can take it only as a parameter. Are you guys clearer? Now guys, tell me, can I write a method like this? Can I write a method like this, all of you? Public bool test. Public bool test. All of you, concentrate on this. Public bool test. String str. Out int I. Can I write a method like this? What is the input for the method? What is the input for the method? String. Perfect. What are the results coming out of the method? What are the results coming out of the method? Bool and int here. You're telling only one. Bool and int. Why are you forgetting two? Bool and int, not I. Bool and int. Okay, one is coming as a return type and one is coming as an output parameter. One is coming as a return type and one is coming as an output parameter. Did everyone understand the last one? We already learned about this here. What is this, try parse. We already learned about this, try parse. A predefined method, we called it, remember, if you pass a string, it will convert this into integer and returns you. And also it returns a Boolean value telling whether the conversion is success or failure. Understood? So one value is coming as a bool and one value is coming as an integer. Two values, what you're getting. Okay, now tell me in these two, which one is simple? Which one is simple? First one or second one now? I feel your choice here, your choice, but I feel first one is quite simple. Why? Again, no need to use a return statement, all are output parameters. You can write like this also, no problem. But I feel like this is simple. No problem here, both are same, Okay, but actually we are learning about output parameters. Because we are learning about output parameters, what I'm doing is, watch it. I'm adding a class here. I will name the class as output parameters. Output parameters.cs. I'm naming it as output parameters.cs and click on the add button. Okay, and now start writing the code. Start writing the code inside of it. What? Public void math1. Public void math1 int a comma int b comma out int c comma out int d. Okay, now what you say? C is equals to a plus b. D is equals to a into b. Guys, if you want, you can take two more parameters to return the result of subtraction and division also. You can take two more output parameters to return the result of subtraction and division also. Possible. That is also possible. Okay. Now come to main. How to call this? Static void main. Tell me how many result. First step, create the instance of your class. First step, create the instance of your class. Okay. First, tell me. I will call this method now. I will call this method. How many results this method is giving you? How many results this method is giving you? 2 results. So to capture the 2 results, all of you watch it. To capture the 2 results, first you require to declare 2 variables. To capture the 2 results, first you require to declare 2 variables. After declaring the 2 variables, call the method p.math1. Now, A is an input parameter, pass a value for it. B is an input parameter, pass a value for it. C is an output parameter. So what you do, here you say out sum1 and out product 1. So what happens, the value 100 goes to A now, the value 25 goes to B now, okay? And now the method executes. C is equals to A plus B. 125 is assigned to C. The value assigned to C will come into sum1, and 2500 is assigned to D. The value assigned to D will come into product 1. And once the execution of the method is completed, console.writeLine, sum of the given numbers is plus sum1. Product of the given numbers is plus product 1. Are you guys clear? It's a very simple code here. These are output parameters. Because these are output parameters, you are putting variables there to capture the results. If someone has any value, it will overwrite the value, that's all. If someone has any value, it will overwrite the value. Yeah, that's all. Nothing will happen. It will overwrite, that's all. The value of someone is no way going to be important for us. The value of someone is no way going to be important. It will receive the value from here. C will send a value, that value will come here. D will send a value, that value will come here. That's all. Watch it. Got the results? What's your doubt? If someone has any value, what happens, sir? Is equals to 100. What happens here? It will override of that value. That's all. See, the value is overridden. Array, this value doesn't make any sense here because we are going to receive a new value there. That's it. Are you guys clearer? Guys, to capture the results, you declared two variables here, na? To capture the results, we declared two variables here, right? Without declaring the two variables separately, in C sharp 7.0, we are provided with a new feature. What is the feature? You can declare that variable straight away here only. You can declare that variable straight away here only. You can declare the variable. This is a feature in C sharp 7.0. Are you guys clear? If you are working with the old versions of the C sharp, you need to write the code like this. If you are working with the new versions of the C sharp, you can write the code like this. I am showing you both the options to you. Old way, new way also. Do anyone have any doubts? Both are same, yeah. That only I'm telling you. Same output only coming now. I'm telling you, without declaring that again, you can directly declare it on there. Again, you're asking both are same. Both are same only. That's a new feature. If you are working on old versions, in working on new versions, you need to write the code like this. If you are working on new versions, then you can write the code like this. That's all. Array C sharp 7 is again you're asking in 6 it is not applicable. What are your questions here? I don't understand. like silly and foolish. I'm telling you the feature was introduced in 7.0. And you're asking, sir, will it not work in 6.0? You're born in 1995. You're born in 1995. So I say, you're born in 1995. What are you doing in 1994? How silly is the question? I hope you guys are clear. Now watch. Now watch. Listen. One more thing I'll show you. Watch. Actually, what is the drawback here? What is the drawback here? Multiple return statements cannot be used. Multiple return statements cannot be used. Correct? So multiple return statements cannot be used. So that's why to overcome this problem, guys, again, in C#7, they added as a new feature. What is the new feature, you know? You can return multiple values like this. You can return multiple values like this. C, comma, D. Did you understand? This is again a new feature added in C# 7.0. This is again a new feature added in C# 7.0. Earlier, you cannot have multiple return types to a method. But from C# 7.0, we have a chance of having multiple return types to a method. Array need not be same type here. You can have different types also. I can have int and bool, bool and string, int string boolean, whatever you want, you can define it. But this is possible from C# 7.0 onwards. Copy this. And the other way, how you can write the above code is like this. In which version? Introduced in C# 7.0. That is tuples. We call it as tuples. We call this a tuple. Tuples means multiple return types basically. How to call it? How to call it? Come here. How to call it? If a method returns one value, you declare one variable. If the method returns two value, we declare two variables. How? Int sum3 comma int product 3. Int sum3 comma int product 3. Obj p dot math2 100 comma 25. I'm just adding a line break there, that's all. Guys, did you observe it? You will get the same output only, see? You will get the same output only, see? Did you understand the calling process? Two variables are declared and two values are captured. That's all. Are you there? You can call like this also. Guys, watch it. You can call like this also. How? Without declaring the thing separately, you can declare it like this. Like this you can write. Simplification. In the place of where, you can use dynamic also. In the place of where, you can use dynamic also. All give same results. See, different varieties of writing the code. I am showing you how to write code in old versions, how to write code in new versions. If you are working with C# 6.0, then this will not work. Then you require to write code like this only. If you are working from 7.0, you can write code like this also, or you can write code like this also. Got it? Any doubts? Okay, so this is about the different parameters what we just have in our code. This is about the different parameters what we have in our particular code. These are the various parameters what we just have in your code. Okay, so today I explained you only about output parameters. We have learned input parameters. Whatever it is easier, all options I will tell you. Which one easier, not easier, you decide. I won't tell you that is easier, not easier. I will teach you all the options available. Okay, so you pick the best option, what you want. Okay, so what I'm trying to, today I explain, you already learned about input parameters, and today we learned about what? Output parameters. You already learned about input parameters. And today what I thought is about output parameters. Are you clear, guys? Monday, I will teach you about inOut parameters. Monday, I will teach you about inOut parameters. Okay, now? Bye, guys. Have a nice day. We'll meet on Monday. From Monday, our classes will be both online and offline also. Practice, guys. Practice. Complete the practice of all these things. So don't leave pendings. Up to here, what I thought, everything, just complete it. Same timings here. Why will timings change? The timings won't change. I don't tell. I don't tell Ratna Kumari. I given there for you to practice. I won't teach. Google. That's all. I can't help. Google for that. Unit test cases and all, why will I teach in C#? Yeah. Unit test cases, don't expect all these things in C#.